Hey, hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Chris here with Elliott Wave Cafe. It is the 25th of September. Let's take a look at the markets. I want to revisit definitely crypto here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP with a little bit more sell-off. So we're continuing those corrections, and I want to take a look at the wave counts and show you a couple of things. In regards with the equity markets, we sold off. This is the third day in a row that we're selling off. The good news is that I think we're finding support at a 20-day moving average. You can see in here in the S&P, how we had a test of that 20-day, which is usually a first support in the uptrends, and then we pushed back higher and we closed kind of towards the middle of that candle. That's a little bit encouraging for tomorrow, and if they're managing to close tomorrow above yesterday's high, I think that's going to bode well for probably further upside in the indices. Nasdaq Composite also did a bit of a sell-off, and it is testing that 20-day once again. I mean, there's more support coming back here, so just a normal garden variety correction so far, nothing out of the ordinary. And the Russell, sold off a bit more, but it just a beautiful reaction from the 20-day once again. And this one closed a little bit towards the low of the candle, which is a slight negative, but you can see how how previous 2 days closed at the lows, which means that there was a lot of pressure from the bears to continue to correct this, maybe profit taking, what have you, doesn't matter. The bottom line is that we've corrected this advance, and that's good. That's what you want to see in an uptrend. So as long as this doesn't get out of control, it's still going to look fine up into the 50-day, even if this wants to go a little bit deeper. I don't have a problem with it, but I think before that happens, we're probably going to get a bit of a bounce first and then see how we react. If they're selling into that bounce, let's say tomorrow is Friday, maybe we're going to rally, maybe not. But if we do, we'll see what happens Monday and Tuesday. And if they turn that back down and take this low, then rest assured, I think we're going to go all the way down to the 50 moving average. So that's all I kind of have to say in terms of the indices in here. The silver and gold continue to push pretty well. Actually gold, it's kind of staying steady, but nothing wrong there. But silver actually made a new high. It's trading now at 45.35, and it continues to look nice and strong. And the dollar has been bouncing. 10-year have been going up, so that puts a bit of pressure on the risk assets. And then dollar, it's trading at about 98.13 again. It just a rally that's let's say not that good for risk assets, and you can see the Bitcoin and crypto continues to suffer here. Okay, let's take a look at the wave counts and see what they're telling us. I'm going to come back to the XRP, but let's take a look at Bitcoin. I'm going to move the camera back there, and if you look, I'm going to make this bigger. So we're looking for this wave 2. I've talked about this one. Let's do that, and then so you've gone down in this kind of first sell-off, and then now you got rejected here in this B wave. That B wave traveled up into the 61.8, so very good level to kind of find resistance into. And now if you're seeing the sell-off, I'm thinking that this might have been a leading diagonal in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and a wave B pull back into the 61.8. So now very important what happens around 107 to 71. If we can hold above it, or even penetrate it by a little bit and then bounce back and have some serious buyers coming in, then that could be the end of the move of the C wave, and then we can look higher. So I don't think there's really nothing to do right now with Bitcoin. We gotta wait until we're kind of getting back above this high. Remember, those were also the moving averages. So if I go over to Bitcoin, yesterday we talked about it. This was a nice reaction, but he needed to get back above these moving averages. And I said, okay, for anybody that wants to, try this out, it has to be small, because the moment, you're getting a rejection, you know, you don't want to lose too much in here, and there's not a lot of confirmation, so that's why waiting it's important. Okay, so now we took this low, you know, whatever positions were bought back here, mind you, you know, they have to be completely eliminated now that you lost the low of that candle, but you know, so now you got to wait for the next kind of setup here. And you know, looking here at the wave count, I mean, you know, you can see like a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a small 5, but just because they're there doesn't mean that this cannot continue, because it could be like a 1, you can get a small 2, then 3, 4 and 5, and you can have maybe you know, an impulse. You know, it could be an ending diagonal or an ending diagonal. You know, you're supposed to have a bunch of overlaps and 3 waves in each leg, so I don't think that's the case, but it's too early anyway. Bottom line is 107 to 71. It's the pivot here, and what happens around it matters a lot. And then, you know, if we do get through it, we're gonna go to the bottom of the channel and then watch the reaction, and then see if there's buyers coming in. So again, I mean, no rush to do anything with Bitcoin here. I'm waiting for it to see what happens. If the plan is this: if this happens, and this comes here, and let's say it doesn't go below that, but then you have buyers coming in and start to bid it back up, I would try it again on a long above that level, just small, and then I would definitely accelerate above that level. So that's one plan. The second one is, if it goes below these levels and it comes here all the way down, you know, then again, I need to see buyers coming in on good volume, get back above this level and move somewhat strong, and then start to look to buy somewhere up into these levels, very small, then add above this one, and then add above that again. So it's all a matter of if we're getting the buyers coming in, and I want to participate. Until then, you know, there is really nothing to do. And if it goes, and if it does, you know, something like this back here, and it falls, right, then we know, hey, there's really nothing to do. We just you know, kind of get out of the way. But that's the, you know, that's kind of what I'm watching in here, you know. So we take it step by step, day by day, and see you know, kind of how it reacts. So that's Bitcoin. Ethereum, it still looks fine. I think it's still you know, approachable as a fourth wave, even though we lost this pretty important support. But again, it's important what happens as we're approaching this trend line now, because this is a pretty good you know, uptrending angle. And sometimes, you know, you get again this again maybe leading with the B wave, and then, you know, you're selling off into here. And now if we can get back above that level, sorry, we tried that again. If you can get back above that level nice and straight, that's good. And then with some further buying, now I know that it's possible that that's done, and I'm going to get interested, and even more interested above those levels. So that's kind of my game plan for Ethereum. If this continues to break, then, you know, we got problems, and then, you know, who knows? I mean, I guess the next support will be back here, and then, you know, we got to get into some other combinations, I guess, or to look kind of how the count looks. And I don't want to speculate too much. It's not good for the sanity of the brain here. All right, let's take a look now at Ripple, which looks good. It did sell off, but it's holding somewhat this 270 level. So yesterday had a pretty nice day with good buying coming in, although the volume was a bit weak, I guess. And still, it could be doing something like Bitcoin does, right? So if we're responding from here without making a new low, you know, that would be great. But you're still gonna have to get back above those levels before I would be interested. If you're breaking, you know, and it's coming lower, then we got to watch what happens at the bottom of this channel, and again, see how it reacts, and it needs to get back above this pivot before I would be interested. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for today. Hopefully this helps. Tomorrow is Friday. I won't do anything, and then I'm out of town, you know, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be back on Monday with the next video. So hopefully, you know, keep this market tight, don't let it break. All right, bye.